Have you ever wondered why a light bulb never dims slowly? It either shines blindingly bright or burns out instantly, plunging the room into darkness. But the human brain works differently, far more treacherously. It fades quietly, inch by inch, step by step, submerging consciousness into a twilight we submissively and mistakenly call natural aging. The statistics are relentless and cruel. Every 30 seconds, someone in the world permanently loses the ability to recognize the faces of their loved ones. And this doesn't happen because of bad genetics, but because of mundane neural starvation, a state where critically important brain zones simply shut down from chronic inactivity, like empty, abandoned rooms in a vast mansion. If you are already over 55, or if you've even once caught yourself taking a split second longer to find the right word than you used to, then the information you are about to receive concerns you directly and urgently. Imagine for a moment that your memory isn't some abstract cloud floating in your head, but a tangible physical muscle that can be pumped and strengthened, just like a bicep, but without heavy dumbbells or an exhausting gym membership. Here lies the great biological paradox of our time. Why do some people at 90 easily quote classic literature, write memoirs, and master new foreign languages, while others, barely stepping over the 50-year mark, can't remember why they walked into the kitchen a minute ago? The answer doesn't lie in expensive pharmaceuticals or mythical good genes. The secret to mental longevity lies in specific, pinpoint microstimulation of dormant zones, those very areas that, for 95% of modern people, have been in emergency power-saving mode for years. Today, we will break down the unique Kinetic Restart Protocol, a system of 5 elementary actions capable of reversing the process of neural decay in just 60 seconds. But be extremely attentive. One of these methods seems so simple and even absurd that most people arrogantly ignore it, even though it is the golden key to your vestibular youth. Are you familiar with that heavy, sticky feeling when you walk into a room and suddenly freeze in total confusion, as if someone invisible erased the last 5 minutes of your life with an eraser? Or that awkward moment when the name of an old acquaintance is spinning on the very tip of your tongue, causing almost physical discomfort, but never surfacing in your memory? Many are used to writing these signals off as fatigue, bad weather, or age, submissively accepting the role of a passive observer of their own fading. But what if I told you that these micro-glitches are not a verdict at all, but a loud emergency siren your brain is blasting in a desperate attempt to draw attention to broken neural connections? Try, honestly, right now, to rate the clarity of your consciousness on a scale of 1 to 10. By the end of this material, your perception of your own hidden capabilities may change radically. If you are ready to stop blaming your forgetfulness on your birth certificate and intend to take control of your brain, hit the like button. Let this simple action be your first conscious signal to your brain that you are declaring war on fading. It is important to understand the fundamental mechanics of the process. The brain doesn't die from old age per se. It dries up from a breakdown in internal logistics. Picture a complex irrigation system for vast fields. If the canals are clogged with silt and the pumps are working at half strength, even the most fertile soil will inevitably turn into a desert. Our head works exactly the same way. The hippocampus, the main storage of our memories, and the cerebellum, the center of coordination and balance, are the first to suffer from a lack of stimulation. They are like houseplants that someone suddenly stopped watering. First they lose their firmness, then their color fades, and eventually they turn into a dry, brittle herbarium. But nature has left us service entrances, special peripheral nerve endings through which we can forcibly, mechanically send a wake-up signal straight to mission control. And the first such secret entrance is located where you least expect to find it at the furthest points of your body. Tool Hazone, peripheral grounding antennas. We are talking, oddly enough, about your feet. This might sound counterintuitive. What possible connection could there be between your toes and the ability to remember phone numbers? However, neurobiology asserts that this connection is critical. The feet are the grounding antennas for your cerebellum. This ancient brain zone, which is usually considered responsible only for keeping us from falling, actually plays the role of a powerful processor handling thinking, speed, and attention concentration. When our feet are encased in stiff shoes for years and deprived of complex motor skills, this communication channel literally overgrows. The brain stops seeing the lower floor of the body and automatically reduces the system's overall computing power to save energy. Consider a telling example. In my practice, there was a case of Arthur Mitchell, a 6-year-old retired structural engineer. All his life, this man operated with complex blueprints, but at some point, he began to notice a frightening insecurity in space. It wasn't physical pain in his legs, his muscles remained strong. It was a deep fear of space. A standard descent down the stairs turned into daily torture for him. Every step required colossal conscious control, as if he were operating a foreign, wooden body. He stopped going outside without a cane, and his speech became slow, as if he were picking words against resistance. The diagnosis was obvious: sensory body amnesia leading to cognitive inhibition. The solution offered to him initially caused Arthur a skeptical smirk. He was told to perform the foot revival protocol, a mechanical restoration of the foot cerebellum neural highway. Arthur began performing a specific sequence of movements daily while sitting in his recliner. Just 2 weeks later, he described his new sensations with a strange phrase. "Doc, it's like someone washed a layer of grime off my windshield." His gait regained its former lightness. The unsteadiness disappeared, but most amazingly, his lightning-fast reaction speed in conversations returned. Stairs ceased to be his Everest. The technical implementation requires precision. Sit on a chair, heels pressed firmly to the floor. Stage 1. Lift only the toes of both feet as high as possible, holding the tension for exactly 5 seconds. You should physically feel the string tightening from the shin to the knee. Stage 2. Forcefully press your toes into the floor without lifting your heels for another 5 seconds. Stage 3. For 10 seconds, actively mimic the motion with your toes as if you are trying to crumple and pull a towel lying on the floor toward you. This wakes up dormant fine motor skills. And the finale. For 10 seconds, clench and unclench your toes into a fist as fast as possible. This entire cycle takes exactly 30 seconds. Repeat it twice. This is an urgent telegram to the brain. Connection restored, we are ready for work. If you just tried to wiggle your toes while reading this and felt with horror how difficult it is to control them, write the word contact in the comments. This is a sign that you have discovered this dangerous blind spot. Tool #2, unlocking the vascular sluice. The second element targets the most common cause of brain fog hypoxic blockage. We often talk about oxygen starvation, imagining a climber on a mountain peak, but for a typical city dweller over 60, this Everest begins right in the armchair in front of the TV. The neck is not just a stand for the head. It is a critically narrow bottleneck through which pass 4 main arteries feeding your brain. Years of slouching and poor posture turn these elastic hoses into stiff, kinked tubes. Blood flows, yes, but the pressure is weak. The brain, deprived of adequate nutrition, is forced into hibernation mode. Thoughts become viscous, drowsiness appears, along with that exhausting feeling of heaviness often mistaken for ordinary fatigue. The story of Eleanor Davis, a 8-year-old librarian, serves as a perfect illustration. She complained that by lunchtime her head felt heavy, like cast iron, and reading no longer brought pleasure. The meaning slipped away, forcing her to reread paragraphs 3 or 4 times. She drank liters of coffee, but the effect was short-lived. The problem was mechanical. Her neck was so blocked by tension that it created a dam effect. Instead of dangerous gymnastics, she was offered the soft compass method and exercise with micro-amplitude. Eleanor began this ritual twice a day. 3 weeks later, the cast iron helmet vanished. Clarity returned, along with the ability to hold concentration for hours. Blood flow was restored, and the drying plant of her brain finally received moisture. Instruction: sit up straight, relax your shoulders, let them melt down. Slowly scanning the horizon, turn your head to the right until you feel a stop, strictly no pain. Hold for a second. Smoothly return to the center. Repeat to the left. Now, an important nuance, lift your chin up as if trying to touch the sky, stretching the front of the neck. And the final chord, gently drop your chin to your chest, stretching the back of the neck. The whole cycle takes 30 seconds, 2 repetitions a day, and you open the sluices for your command center. Tool #3, the neuromuscular gyroscope. The third tool might cause a slight smile, but it is a secret weapon of speech therapists for reviving fading speech centers. The tongue is not just an organ of taste. It is a unique muscular gyroscope connected to the brainstem and the vagus nerve. When the tongue becomes sluggish with age, impulses to the speech zones of the cortex glitch. The result? Those moments when you know the word but can't say it, or a thought breaks off mid-sentence. Recall Anthony Brooks, an 82-year-old retired math professor. His mind was sharp, but he began to withdraw because speaking became exhausting. Words got tangled, diction blurred. The problem lay in the atrophy of the articulatory apparatus. He was prescribed neurolingual activation. It looks funny, but the efficiency is striking. Anthony practiced every morning. 10 days later, the mush in his mouth disappeared. Speech became crisp, and with it returned the speed of thinking. Tactics: sit straight. Step 1. Stick your tongue out as far as possible, trying to reach a point in front of you. Hold for 3 seconds. Step 2. Press your tongue forcefully against your right cheek from the inside, then the left. This engages side muscles. Step 3. Press the tip of your tongue against the hard palate behind your teeth and push up for 5 seconds. This is a direct massage of the brain base. Finale. Make 3 circular motions with your tongue under your lips in one direction and 3 inches the other. The complex takes 30 seconds. Repeat twice. Fatigue at the root of the tongue is a sign of success. If you feel that words sometimes get stuck, hit the like button. Let's see how many of us want to bring back the ease of speech. Tool #4, sensory control panel. The fourth element concerns the ears. Not hearing, but the earlobe and auricle. They are a map of the body and a remote control for the vestibular system. The ears are packed with points, the stimulation of which works like a reset button. This is a lifesaver for those suffering from dizziness and noise. Linda Peterson, 70, suffered from a drunken walk in the mornings. Her vessels were fine. The vestibular system was glitching. The auricular awakening technique caused skepticism, but after a week, the morning storm stopped. Her head cleared instantly. Execution. Sit comfortably. Grasp the tops of your ears. Gently pull vertically up. 3 sec. Move fingers to the middle. Pull sideways and back, opening the ear canal. Pull the lobes down. Finale, vigorously rub your ears with your palms until they feel hot. This fire triggers a rush of blood to the head, invigorates better than coffee, and is safe for the heart. The secret ingredient. Protocol 60 Seconds Synergy. Real magic begins not when you do these exercises separately, scattered throughout the day, but when you assemble them into a single, dense Protocol 60 seconds. This is the principle of synergy in action. 1 + 1 here equals not 2, but 10. When you simultaneously activate the feet, bottom, neck bridge, tongue, speech, and ears, sensory, you subject your brain to a veritable carpet bombing of beneficial stimuli. Imagine a symphony orchestra. A violin sounds beautiful, a drum sounds rhythmic, but only when they enter simultaneously is great music born. Your brain craves this symphony. Separately, the signals might be weak, but together they create a powerful impulse capable of breaking through even old neural blocks. Remember the case of Carmen Lopez from San Diego. Her situation seemed hopeless. Total apathy, a dull gaze, loss of interest in life. She did the exercises mechanically, without soul, just checking boxes. But when I suggested she combine them into 1 minute of intensive practice, a quantum shift occurred. She sat in her recliner and began her personal strange dance. Feet working up and down, head turning smoothly, tongue pressing against the palate, hands massaging ears. From the outside, it might have looked eccentric, but inside her body at that moment, a storm of neurogenesis was raging. Neurons fired up, connections were restored. A month later, this was a completely different woman. She didn't just remember the names of all her grandchildren, she started writing poetry, something she hadn't done since her distant youth. How to do this technically so you don't get your limbs tangled? The secret is in the layering sequence. Don't try to do everything at once in the first second, it will be chaos. Start with the base. 1. Launch the legs, toe lift, and tension. 2. Connect the neck, start a slow turn. 3. Add the tongue, press against the cheek or palate. 4. And in the finale, pull the ears with your hands. Hold this state of total engagement for just 10 to 15 seconds. Relax, exhale, repeat. The entire procedure will take exactly 1 minute, but this minute will be worth hours of ordinary sluggish wakefulness. But be careful. Even the best tool can break if used incorrectly. Now that you have this powerful protocol in your hands, the most dangerous moment arrives. The euphoria from the first quick results often pushes people into the trap of overconfidence. Statistics are relentless. 8 out of 10 people quit such practices after 2 weeks, not because they don't work, but because they make critical mistakes in the details. Let's break down the 3 main pitfalls so you don't join the ranks of the disappointed. 3 traps and 3 biochemical amplifiers. Trap 1. The overachiever syndrome. Many start doing exercises with such fury as if they are preparing for the Olympics. They stretch their necks until they crack, press their ears until they bruise. Remember, the brain perceives pain as a threat signal, not a stimulus for development. If you overdo it, Instead of neuroplasticity, you get cortisol shock and spasms. The key to success is lazy correctness. Movements should be smooth, viscous, on the verge of pleasure, like a stretching cat. Trap 2. Mechanical execution. You can wave your legs for an hour, but if you are mentally making a grocery list at that moment, the efficiency of the workout is zero. Neural connections are formed only in the presence of attention. The brain must be present in the point of the body you are moving. Trap 3. The illusion of once. We want to believe in a miracle, but neurobiology is cruel. Random actions do not change the brain structure. Only regularity paves new paths. A missed day throws you 2 steps back. By the way, if you are one of those who often start a new life on Monday and quit on Tuesday, hit the share button and send this video to yourself in a messenger. Let it hang there as a silent reminder of your intention not to give up. And now, let's turn gymnastics into a ritual with 3 secret ingredients. Secret Heishon, hydration as a conductor. The brain is a power plant in an aqueous environment. In the morning, it is dehydrated. A glass of warm water 10 minutes before practice is flipping the switch. Impulses will travel faster. Secret #2, oxygen afterburner. Breathe in a 4 to 6 rhythm. Inhale through the nose for 4. Exhale through the mouth for 6. This is an access code to calm and dilate brain vessels before the load. Secret #3, audio anchor. Play the same melody. The brain will create a reflex. Music equals renewal. This will help you start even if you are lazy. The awakening triad, how to measure success. How do you know the process has started without relying on emotions? Look for 3 objective markers. The awakening triad. The case of Eleanor Davis, 74, is telling. She kept a journal. First marker, sleep. After 2 weeks, it became deep night awakenings disappeared. The vagus nerve calmed the system. Second marker, household agility. She stopped dropping keys and bumping into corners. The cerebellum restored the body map. Third marker, emotional calm. The fussiness and irritation disappeared. The prefrontal cortex is controlling emotions again. Cement your success with a simple checklist once a week. Do I wake up faster? Do I stumble less? Do I hold the thread of conversation longer? Positive answers are your motivation. If you want to know which foods act as cement for new neurons and which seemingly innocent additives quietly dissolve your memory, be sure to subscribe to the channel right now. In the next video, we will dissect the neuronutrition protocol in detail, which will be the perfect addition to today's physical practices. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss this crucial puzzle piece of your health. The brain is capable of renewing itself until the very last breath. Age is not a finish line, but a new stage requiring just a different maintenance strategy. And the keys to this strategy are now in your hands. 5 simple movements. 1 minute of time. Your desire to live a full life. Think about which version of yourself you want to be in a year. The choice is made not tomorrow, but right now. Take a deep breath, wiggle your toes, and smile. The process has already begun. Thank you for choosing yourself. See you soon.